taken a rut with your running? I mean, we all hit various plateaus at points throughout our running careers. That's entirely normal, but you just need to work out what it is so you can then address it and look at improving your running performance. Well, today we're going to be identifying the various things that could be preventing you from running faster. And once you've found your weak spot, we can address it and work at taking your running to the next level. Do you run regularly, but you do all of your runs at the same pace? Not too fast, not too slow, just nice and comfortable. Maybe you do purely run for pleasure. That's fine. But if you want to actually improve your running, then you're going to need to have to spice things up a bit and add in some variety. There's a great quote, I'm going back to Albert Einstein for this one. If you always do what you always did, you will always get what you always got. And that is so true for your running. Yes, at the beginning of your running journey, you might have seen some really quick improvements from doing the same type of run all the time. But once that has plateaued, you're going to have to change things up. There's some good news though. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have to run harder. It just means you're going to have to run smarter. So you're going to need to mix your sessions up, and one session needs to include some sort of intervals where you are going to be running faster than your target race pace. This will help get your legs used to moving quickly and also work that top end aerobic into your anaerobic system so that when you come to race, it'll feel more comfortable. But that's going to put more stress on your body, so you need to keep them fairly short with plenty of rest, and you'll need recovery runs, and these need to be super slow and easy, so probably easier than you're currently running, and this will let your body absorb and ultimately recover. On top of that, you need to build up your endurance, and that's where the long run comes in. So this needs to be at a steady pace. If you can include a long run once every 7 to 10 days. And if you've still got the capacity for more running, then you could think of adding in some threshold sessions. And these are just going to be great for sort of building that running engine. And for an example session, you could do something like 2 lots of 10 minutes running at a pace or an effort of 7 out of 10. So basically you should be feeling sort of comfortably uncomfortable. Running goalless, if that's even a word, is totally fine if you don't want to improve. However, you're watching this video, so I reckon you do. But what does improving mean to you? What does that look like? Do you want to get faster? Do you want to increase your running distance? Or maybe do you want to accomplish a goal of a dream event that you've always wanted to do? Whatever it is, it doesn't matter as long as it's something that's really important to you. And you need to write that goal down and stick to it, because that is going to motivate you and really help you to naturally improve. And then work backwards from that goal. So once you've got it in your diary, try to make some smaller goals that are going to keep you going along the way and that will help you reach that big goal. Did you know that you can improve your running without running? Now, I don't mean forget your running. I'm talking about looking outside the box and how you can complement it. Maybe you've reached that stage where you feel you need to do more volume, but you're worried that your legs can't take it. Well, you can actually improve your cardiovascular fitness through other sports that will complement it overall. So you've got swimming and cycling, the obvious ones. Also, the elliptical trainer crosses over really nicely to improving your running endurance. And then there's hiking. Yes, going for a long walk can actually contribute to the conditioning and the overall endurance of your legs, which is especially relevant if you're targeting, say, a long distance race such as an ultra. And it's not just your fitness that will help you take your running up a level. You want to look at the strength as well, as this will make you a more efficient runner. So heading to the gym and doing some simple compound style exercises such as the squat or the deadlift are really going to have a positive effect on your running. And of course, you can't neglect the core, and this will all add to that improvement in your performance. A really simple one could be the amount of running you're doing. If you're doing too much, then you might be risking burnout, getting too many niggles, picking up bugs and colds all the time, or just constantly feeling tired. It is, though, a fine balance, because obviously if you're not doing enough training, then you're not going to be pushing your body, you're not going to be getting fitter, and you won't improve that way. Have you nailed all of your training program and covered every aspect of your running, yet you're not improving? Well, it could be time to address your technique. Are you overstriding? Is your cadence too low? What are you doing with your arms? How's your posture when you run? Have you ever thought about these issues? Well, it might be time to get a coach to have a look, or maybe someone to video you so you can identify any issues you might have and then work out some specific running drills that you can incorporate in your training. Up until now, we've focused on training, but I expect it's actually your race performance that you're concerned about if that's what you want to improve. So how is your pacing? After a race, do you analyse and have a look at your running splits and see how your pace was? Because this could make or break getting a personal best. If you go out too hard, then you're going to tail off and suffer later on in the race. On the other side, if you're going out too easy, you're going to finish frustrated, wishing you'd done a little bit more. So working on nailing that pace and getting really even splits will make a massive difference to your run. So practice in training running at your race pace, keeping an eye on your watch, and you'll soon find that you can naturally get used to it and you'll know roughly if you're on target pace or not. Do you struggle with consistency with your training due to niggles and injuries that keep cropping up? Now, some admittedly can't be helped or avoided, and it is incredibly frustrating. That's just one of the things that we get with running. However, some can be avoided by making sure we give our bodies enough care. So make sure you always have an adequate warm-up and a cool down. That goes without saying. Try to make sure you get plenty of sleep, because that's when your body does the recovery and repair process, and make sure you're fueling adequately for your dietary needs. Also, keep an eye on your footwear, because trainers wearing out can actually lead to niggles and injuries, and that's a really simple solution. So make sure you keep on top of that one. And then you want to make sure you've got some overall conditioning. So whether that's doing some Pilates or activation work with a band, anything that's just going to help make sure you stay efficient and on top of those niggles. Are you so desperate to improve that you end up doing all of your runs hard? Now, it's a really easy trap to fall into, but it's not conducive to improving your run. Maybe you're someone who starts to feel good on your recovery running. You're just like, oh, I'll up it a little bit, and it turns into a tempo run. Well, you might think that that's a good thing because you're getting quality work in. Well, yes, you are at the time, but it's not going to have a good effect long term, because it's going to affect your next key quality session that does need to be really hard, and all of your sessions end up blurring and you're kind of getting back to that mono pace again. So if you are following a program, you need to make sure you really respect those easy runs. And if you feel great, well, that's great, but still keep it easy and then channel all that energy into the quality sessions further down the line. So we've covered the importance of having variety and changing things throughout your week. Well, this carries over to the bigger picture as well. So you need to have a period of really tough, hard training that builds up, and then you get a chance to recover, so an easy week afterwards. And this happens quite naturally if you've got a race coming. So say you've done your block of training, then you have a taper week and it all gets nice and easy, so you feel great into that race weekend. But you might not be racing every month or so. So you need to remember to still have this periodization in your training overall. Now, some runners will choose something between a 3 to a 5 week block of training pretty hard and then follow that with a nice, easy week of recovery. And this is where your body gets a chance to really absorb the training you've done, so you can then take it back and step up again for the next block. Maybe you're just out of love with the sport. Now, that happens. We all go through phases, and the key here is to not stress about it, because sometimes you just need to give your mind and your body a bit of a break and accept it. But take that time to reevaluate, why do you run? What are the key things that get you out the door, and why do you enjoy it? Try and focus on that, and then before you know it, you'll be back enjoying it, and your pace will come back with it too. Well, that is hopefully covering everything today. Maybe you've experienced some of these, many of these. Do let me know. And let me know what really motivates you to run at the moment. I must admit, I've just gone through a little bit of a rut with my running, but I'm kind of feeling back on track because I've got a goal and a focus, and it's such a powerful thing to do. So if that's where you're at, I would really recommend, now races are opening up, that you put something in your diary and you go for it. Well, hopefully you enjoyed it. Give us a like, and why not check out our social media posts for a bit more running motivation. And you can also subscribe here on YouTube.